Hi, thank you for joining me. Right here, I'm going to do some dream deciphering. So, I had a dream last night and I woke up immediately to a bit of a whispering of my phone ringing, and quite exhausted as I was looking at the phone and I'm like, oh, there's no call. There's no call. There's no nothing. Um, but I had woken up quite abruptly from this dream, which I'm okay to say is a nightmare actually. It was quite interestingly, tiresomely, yeah. So I'm going to talk about the dream. I'm going to talk about what I feel is um, being taken from this. And I just give God glory because He is the one that gives. He gives the dreams, He gives interpretations, and it's really a revealing, it's a revelation, and it's just trying to figure out, well, it's just, God, what are you saying here? What are you saying? So, very quickly, I'm going to go through the dream quite factually, trying just to say what I seen. Then we're going to come back to what it actually meant and what I felt God was revealing to me. So, this is your opportunity to get a cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee. Mine's just kind of half cold, but hey, we'll just work with that. And yeah, so thank you for joining me. If you're interested in dreams, I'm really interested in dreams. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, the first thing I remember in the dream was there was a house store. There were fish tanks, water flowing out, a leak in their system, yet dirty water flows. So I was seeing a like algae or some green stuff, and it was coming out of the pipes. There was a particular tank which did not have enough water in it for the fish to swim. So it was very, very small amount of water, and the free fish that were in it were kind of dead, kind of just floating there and on their way out. Then I seen a grand house. Let's decorate it, let's paint it. And I'm in a group of people. There are so many levels and rooms to this house. Then there was a selection of ball gowns, and there was a man in the group who decided to wear one of the ball gowns, and when he put the ball gown on, it was too small for him. By this stage, I've realised that the house, which I thought was grand and amazing, is actually haunted. It begins to come alive. It begins to turn into a mess and mismatched. You know, we had decorated it, but now it was mismatched and it was warped a bit. The decoration was quite tired looking, and so I tried to escape. Finally, at my own home now, it's dark outside. I look out the kitchen window and I see a car of thieves on the street. I try to jump up to the counter, on top of the counter. But I can't. I try to bang on the window to alert my presence, just to say I can see you. Then she appears, the quiet, hidden thief. She was dressed in black, and I didn't see her coming. She was at the door before I even realised. She puts her hand through the door for the letterbox, and I'm trying to catch it. I'm trying to grab her arm, her hand, each time she dips it in a little bit. Then she goes to my kitchen window and she puts her hand through the window, and I close the window on her hand. Her hand detached and is left hanging dead inside. Then, in my living room, I see my parents, and they are getting ready with their coats. They are putting on their outer layers. Although they don't really sort of speak to me here, I just see them putting on their outer layers. Then, back in the kitchen, I try to jump up onto the counter, and this time I do. Again, I see the group of thieves outside of my neighbour's house. So the group of thieves are getting out of the car again. So it's almost like there was another wave of this, or another cycle of this. So that was my dream. I told you earlier, I woke up quite abruptly, and I thought I heard my phone ringing. I had no alarm. My phone was on sleep mode. So there was no real reason for me to wake up. My alarm goes off at 7, and I have a few alarms because I'm not very good at getting up. But when I woke up at 6 o'clock, I thought I heard my phone ringing. Very, very silently. Pondering this, I'll come back to that. When I got up, I knew immediately, okay, I have no idea what any of that was about, but it freaked me out. I'm wide awake. I'm going downstairs to pray. I am going downstairs to pray. Because I don't live my life with my head in the sand. If he is speaking, I want to hear him. I want to hear him. So I took a note, which you've just heard, of the dream quite factually, as much as I could remember. And I do feel like there could be a part of it that I missed at the start. I'm not sure. It was a wee bit hazy. Now, I don't remember whether I picked the Bible up first. I kind of prayed. I was sitting here praying. Let me see actually if I can see a time. I'm not sure whether I picked the Bible up first and was reading a little, or did I start to do the deciphering? One way or the other way. I'll tell you what the dream interpretation was that I got from God. Okay. A house store full of fish tanks. There's a range of churches to pick from, but most of them are producing dirty waste, dirty water flowing out. One had gushed out so much water that their fish were dying. They had no life force, even for their members. This church would end completely. A beautiful house. Its possibilities were endless. All at the touch of your hand, you could create the life you wanted. Our world has a living system. This house was living and breathing. I could see its staircase vibrating. But soon she shows her true colours. She is not beautiful, but deeply haunted. She holds ruins of different times and places, but in the grandeur of life, it's all reduced to crumbs. No matter what you create here, it will turn to ruins. A choosing of ball gowns, positions to choose from. Which dress will you wear? But there is a confusion with some positions. A man wore a dress that did not fit his form. Some people are choosing the wrong outfit, the wrong position that's not suited to their style. Some people are wearing a position that is so much smaller and shorter than what they are and what they are capable of wearing. That might be you actually listening to this, are you? Are you wearing a short yellow dress when really it's meant to be a ball gown? Do you need to lengthen your train? Lengthen your train? Maybe you need to carry more weight. Maybe you need to carry more. And I'm talking about position. Why are we wearing mini skirts when we're called to wear ball gowns? Come on, come and get your weights. Positions, weights. Can you escape the rat race? Because I got out of the haunted two-faced facade. I made it home. Really home. It's hard to see in that darkness, but I do. I see the evil one coming. I see his plan and purpose. I try to meet the high bar, the counter, but I cannot. Then a different thief comes. She is a quiet assassin, an unseen demon. She appears before she was seen and places her hand in. Her work to mess things up. She tries again with another entrance, but this time I cut off her hand. The hand of dead works is hanging, limp. Be careful of dead works. Cut them off. Be careful of thinking that it is by your hand. It is not your hand. It is not your hand. It's God's. Cut off the hands of dead works. The Lord is putting on his outer clothes. He is preparing to leave his current place. This was represented by me seeing my father, mother, put on the coats. They are preparing to leave their current place. So is God. I take another go again at the counter, and this time I make it. Growth in ability and a higher bar. The thieves are back again to attempt a break-in. There is some sense of a circle when it comes to these demonic break-ins. And it's not, I'm trying to get the right words here. I don't think they're ever going to stop. I feel like there is a cycle to this where they will come and they will try. They will come and they will try. But it's about you and I being able to see in the dark, because that's when he comes. He comes when you are not watching and waiting for him. He comes when you're sleeping. When you're sleeping in life, that's when he comes in. When you think that everything is okay, that's when he comes in. But in my dream, when I came down the stairs, it was dark. I wasn't supposed to be awake. I wasn't supposed to see this, but I was seeing this. Are you seeing this? You need to be aware of when he comes. and how he usually sneaks in. When you're expecting someone, you're waiting for them, you're watching for them, and you're listening for them. And it's just to be sensitive to the hand that just tries to come in through the letterbox. And as I stood in the dream, I was waiting. Every time she went to put her hand in the letterbox, I tried to grab it, and I tried to grab it, and I tried to grab it. I tried to grab it. So, here's the interesting part, or at least I thought so. I'm going to read to you quickly some verses from Numbers, which I just kind of happened upon in my morning session with God talking about this. And I'll tell you the ones that jumped out to me, which I felt like God was speaking to me in. So we've got Numbers chapter 22 and verse 19. So you too, please stay here tonight, that I may know what more the Lord will say to me. Please stay here tonight so I may know what the Lord may say to me. This for me was a bit of confirmation that God had been speaking to me during the night. Numbers chapter 23, verse 24. Behold, a people, as a lioness it rises up, and as a lion it lifts itself. It does not lie down until it has devoured the prey and drunk the blood of the slain. Behold, a people, as a lioness it rises up, and as a lion it lifts itself. It does not lie down until it has devoured the prey and drunk the blood of the slain. For me, this represents the moment that I had with the counter. To rise up like a lioness, but to lift like a lion. The blood of the slain representing the hand that was cut off. There was especially, I really felt a relevance to the oracle of Balaam, which was his third oracle, I believe. Third oracle. And I'm going to read to you. It is still chapter 24. I'm reading from verses 3 till 9. And he took up his discourse and said, the oracle of Balaam the son of Beor, the oracle of the man whose eye is opened, the oracle of him who hears the words of God, who sees the vision of the Almighty, falling down with his eyes uncovered. How lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your encampments, O Israel. Like palm groves that stretch afar, like gardens beside a river, like aloes that the Lord has planted, like cedar trees beside the waters. Water shall flow from his buckets, and his seed shall be in many waters. His king shall be higher than Agag, and his kingdom shall be exalted. God brings him out of Egypt, and is for him like the horns of the wild ox. He shall eat up the nations, his adversaries, and shall break their bones in pieces and pierce them through with his arrows. He crouched, he lay down like a lion, and like a lioness. Who will rouse him up? Blessed are those who bless you, and cursed are those who curse you. Let me just tell you, I'll read out the parts with which linked in with my spirit, my soul. The man whose eyes is opened, who hears the word of God, who sees the vision of the Almighty, falling down with his eyes uncovered. I was praying on the floor, of course, with my eyes uncovered. How lovely are your tents, O Jacob. I spoke to someone yesterday about tents and how we have individual tents. Water shall flow from his buckets, the fish tanks, and his seed shall be in many waters, the waters that were flowing throughout all the fish tanks. God brings him out of Egypt. I'm just seeing this now, actually. Egypt was the slavery place. And I know I mentioned about the rat race, about coming out of the rat race, coming out of that cycle of slavery. Break their bones in pieces. I literally broke a hand in my dream. I dismembered a hand in my dream. And pierced them through with his arrows. You know, that makes me think of the handle that we have on our windows. They're pretty big. He crouched, he lay down like a lion, and like a lioness. Who will rouse him up? Who will rouse him up? And that was what I felt was very relevant to just my experience. And what I did also feel like I seen when I was praying, I felt like God brought me back into the scene of me lying in bed, and I felt like I seen a circle of angels that were holding a fire torch. I've seen these fire torches before. I've seen it a few times, actually. There was once I went to a theme park about 2 years ago, and we walked past this very strange looking ride. I say strange, and what I really mean is demonic. In a theme park, yeah. Could have been like a Wicker Man. It did not sit with my soul. But what I did feel as we were walking past, and it wasn't sitting with my soul, I felt like I seen in spirit an angel in front of us with the torch of flames. And I wasn't going anywhere near that ride. I've seen this a few times. That's quite an ingrained memory one. Flaming torch. Flaming torch for me is representing God's presence. So when I seen myself lying down and the circle of angels were around the room with their flaming torches, there's something like it makes me think of the candle holder. Okay, I'm thinking I see the candle holder, the Jewish candle holder with the 7, and it also makes me think of altars. So when Isaac was going to be sacrificed on the altar to God, you know, they had everything that they needed. You know, they brought the wood. You know, so the burnt sacrifices, which is there's just something about the fire with his presence. There's something about it. The burning bush, actually, wow, that's coming to mind. It's like, this is a holy place. God is encountering here. God is encountering here. So that's that's everything that I have to say. I hope you find that interesting. I know I certainly do. I was so excited. I was buzzing. I mean, I woke up this morning and I was not amused by this dream. I was freaked out. I lost an hour of sleep because I was freaked out and praying about it. But at the same time, God makes things so interesting. You know, I was so excited to talk about it. Yeah, it's a lot of food for thought. As for the phone ringing in my head, to me that was a personalized call where God was saying, "Hey, I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to you. I'm calling you." Actually, yeah, I'm calling you. So, if you've had any dreams like if you've had any dreams that's really spoken in your spirit and you've known there is something about this dream that's speaking to me, feel free to share. Write it in the comments section below. If you've made it this far, leave a flame in the emojis, leave a flame in the comments, like, subscribe. That they are great ways to help me get the channel shared with other believers. And but ultimately, God is good. God, He's in charge. And yeah, God bless. Thank you for staying. Thank you for hearing. And I hope that you've enjoyed and that God has maybe spoken something to you in this revealing. God bless.